I really don't know whether I have anything source that has so far been unsaid, and I feel strongly I would like to say. I don't know of any one thing, but if there is anything that you think that I may not have said, I would be happy to say it.
Now, there's I don't know if you feel, because of the great things you've done for the country for so long and the struggles you had to endure, whether you feel appreciated or forgotten, you and many of the great people who you're in the struggle with. I'm not sure how you feel about the new generation of leaders and even the youth in the country.
The only thing I would like to say about our struggle is that we are happy that we engaged in it. This country had been given independence, but without freedom, without democracy. And we felt that it wouldn't have been fair, after being independent, that we would become a dictatorship, which we actually did become. Because our parents, when they fought for independence, they were very clear that they were fighting for land and freedom. That's why they called it the Mau Mau, the Land and Land and Freedom Army. And if you are a Land and Freedom Army and you don't get one of those two, then something is missing. So when, as youth of the post-independence period, we looked at what we had. We looked at where we were coming from, a colonial apartheid system which treated us like slaves and it treated foreigners, whites, as masters, who got everything they wanted and who made sure that we got nothing of what we wanted. So when we decided to fight, it was to complete the struggle that our parents had engaged in, and now we felt had not completed, because it was sabotaged by those people who took power, the Kenyatta generation, unfortunately. And I say unfortunately because Kenyatta had been Kenyatta, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, Tom Mboya, Bio Koinange, Ngei, all that lot that had championed the fight for independence. They were our heroes. I remember traveling almost 30 miles to go to Nakuru town to listen to these heroes address the nation. When I was a small boy of about 13, 14, and walking 30 miles for a young boy of 13, it's not easy. But we did it because we identified fully with the struggle for independence, which we were sure was going to take us out of the hell we had been plunged into and up to heaven. We really believed that after independence, our lives would change from life in hell to life in heaven. We thought we would have a heaven on earth after independence. And fortunately, it didn't take long before we noticed that things were not going to change easily. So we started the struggle for second liberation, which was really nothing but the struggle for freedom, for justice, for equality, things that we had failed to get and which we felt we had to have for independence to have a meaning, a complete meaning. So we fought as hard as we could. Looking back, it's clear that we won some and we lost some. And so the struggle is not over if we didn't get everything. And I like talking about us having been, having had our journey, traveling from Egypt, from the colonial Egypt, across the Red River, the Red, what do you call it? The Red Sea,
yeah,
right into the desert where Kenyatta left us. The leaders who took over from Kenyatta, led by Moi, would to have taken us across to Canaan. But I remember having a meeting with Moi after the elections of 1979. He had invited me to his home with my wife, and we had a morning breakfast, and thereafter a long discussion where he was trying to restrain me from demanding land for poor people, higher wages, whatnot. And he told me, young man, stop these things, because especially for land, he said, the people who have the land that you want given to the poor people are Kikuyus and Kalenjins. Now, do you want me to take this land from them and give it to the poor? And I told him, I think that you must give the poor land, because they see you as Joshua, who will take them to the promised land, to Canaan. And I think you need to, because if you don't, they may end up disliking your government more than they disliked the colonial government.